My name's Stu Williams and the business I run is Redruth Community Interest Company, which runs Redruth Community Radio. I lost my sight in 2005 as a result of an operation. Up to that point I was doing a lot of admin and desk-based work. It took me a couple of years of adjusting to living with sight loss, and I thought it's about time that I now take a look at my life, what sort of work I'd like to go back into, and that's when I decided about self-employment and found the Outset programme.
Do you remember coming into one of my sessions, Stu, to talk about your experience? Because we always find that that first-hand knowledge is
Somebody living with a visual impairment means that paperwork and things like that, and especially figures, are very difficult to deal with. Outset were absolutely brilliant in dealing with that. They emailed me all the information prior to the sessions so that I had all the information to hand, so that I was in the same position as everybody else on the course. So I wasn't actually disadvantaged in any way.
I think if somebody's got a barrier to actually participating, then you've got to find some solutions. So we had to make sure that his reader, the equipment that he had, would be able to decipher what was in the session. I think there's plenty of skills, knowledge, experience that people could share, and making it accessible is important. A double thing, I think the programme was a really good fit because of the creativity. It was more to do with the interaction with others.
Well, coming from a background of somebody who'd never been in business before or even thought about going into business, joining the programme was brilliant. It was a big mix of people on the programme. Building that team and being with other people and learning those skills about how to develop a business was important to me. It wasn't necessarily easy, but for me, being told about business planning and how to make it financially viable was quite an important thing. Being based in general employment and admin-based stuff before, taking that leap into self-employment or running a business is completely different. Looking at my skills and realising that that's something I could actually do is to leave that desk-based work behind and start managing and being part of something and creating something. You're listening to Redruth Community Radio. It's fast approaching 3:30 on a Wednesday afternoon. We're with you here until 6 o'clock tonight. Well, initially I joined the Outset Cornwall programme with the idea of going self-employed as a DJ.
And we looked at entrepreneurial skills, and we started discussing the viability of perhaps being a DJ and the feasibility of how he was going to become mobile and overcoming his disability.
Spending time with Pam, my development worker, she saw the potential in me to be a social entrepreneur, and a business idea really should have gone down the route of a social enterprise rather than a straightforward self-employed business.
His business model was of a social enterprise nature. He sees a bigger picture, he's much more strategic, and so with that sort of nature he looks at the best interest of a whole range of people, because Stu is very much about giving back to the community. There's definitely within his nature that he wants to be making a difference.
So she gave me the skills, put me in contact with and helped develop my skills as a social entrepreneur. Managing volunteers was kind of a natural progression to that. And as a result, I've kind of found a role in a niche that I never knew until I started on this path.
He's done a lot with volunteers, an absolute credit to him, and to see Stu in his studio and giving everybody sort of opportunity and training people in how to use that equipment. So Stu, you've got your Ofcom licence?
We have now, yes. We're hoping to launch in February next year, March next year. Dependent on funding, obviously, when we get the funding for the transmitter in. But that takes the station to a whole new level, and that's a brand new development for us.
Fantastic.
To actually come and sit in a studio and be surrounded by volunteers and see the potential that the station is going to have in the future, that's for me, it was a reality. It was no longer just a piece of paper with a business plan or project ideas or what could happen. It was actually there, and people were starting to engage, and it was just, that was my little moment of, my special moment when I could see it was going to be a reality, basically.